Hey guys, Zach here from digitalconstructive.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the concrete license, also known as the C-8 license. So the C-8 license covers, you might hear concrete contractors, you might hear cement contractors, C-8 concrete contractors, concrete specialists. All of these terms are pretty much synonymous with the C-8 license. So a concrete contractor forms, pours, places, finishes, and installs specified mass, pavement, flat, and other concrete work, and places and sets screeds for pavement or flat work. This class shall not include contractors whose sole contracting business is the application of plaster coatings or the placing and erecting of steel or bars for the reinforcing mass, pavement, flat, and other concrete work. Now, I know that's kind of a wordy definition. That's straight from the CSLB website, and that's the Contractors State License Board. So the C-8 license essentially is required for anybody looking to charge over $500 for any type of concrete services. That could be pouring and placing concrete, mixing mortar, foundations, sidewalks, retaining walls. All of these duties pretty much fall under the concrete license. So how long does it take to get the C-8 license? You're looking at about 90 days. Now, in some cases, it'll take a lot longer than 90 days, and in some cases, it'll be shorter than 90 days. But on average, that's about how long you're looking at, waiting for your license. So, the time of year, around the holidays, the CSLB, they get really backed up with applications. A lot of times, applications don't get processed until the new year, so that can add time to the equation. Whether or not you have a criminal history, whether your application gets put under review. These are all factors that can make it take a little bit longer to get your license. But on average, you're looking at a process of maybe about 90 days, 6 to 8 week application processing time, and then another 3 to 4 weeks before you actually go and take the exam. So what are the basic requirements for the concrete license? You've got to be at least 18 years of age. You've got to have a valid driver's license or USA ID. You've got to have a social security number or ITIN number. And you can't currently be on probation or parole. Now, for the concrete license, the experience is that you've got to have at least 4 years full-time journey level experience, and it's got to be within the last 10 years. And journey level experience essentially means that you can perform all of the duties associated with the concrete trade. You've done them unsupervised at a journeyman level for the last 4 years within the last 10 years. So you're also going to need somebody to sign off. You're going to also need to prove documentation of your experience if the CSLB asks you to submit documentation. So who can sign off on your experience? A general contractor, a C-8 license holder, a foreman or supervisor, a fellow journeyman or fellow employee if you work for a company, or a business associate. Any one of these people can sign off on your application verifying that you have concrete experience. So when you're filling out your application, the person you choose to be your qualifying individual needs to write a description of your work experience. So for example, Hank has done concrete work is not going to be sufficient for the CSLB. The CSLB is going to want to see something like Hank has mixed mortar, done forming, placed and poured concrete, constructed retaining walls and foundations. So your description, the description that your qualifying person writes for you has to be very descriptive, and it has to go into all the different duties that you know how to do. Now, proving your experience. Now, the application, when you send your application to the CSLB and they request that you submit more proof of your experience, then they give you a variety of different ways that you can prove that experience. One of the ways that you can prove it is with tax returns. Another is check stubs. Another is invoices, receipts, or contracts. These are all different ways that you can prove your 4 years full-time work experience. Now, not everybody has to do this, but if you're one of the applicants that does, there's other ways you can prove it. These are the main ways, but you will have to submit some type of documentation proving 4 full-time years journeyman level experience. Now, your criminal history. You can absolutely get a concrete license with a criminal record. You're going to have to submit fingerprinting. So when you fill out the application, you're going to check yes if you do have a criminal record. And basically what's going to happen is, they're going to process your application. The fingerprinting is going to get checked. And if you check no on the application and they find out that you do have a criminal record, it could cause problems for you on the application. So just make sure that you're 100% honest. And the main issues that they're looking for are fraud, forgery, and embezzlement. These are 3 huge red flags for the CSLB. So as long as if you do have a criminal record, as long as it doesn't fall under those 3 categories, you should be fine. But you've got to be prepared to submit any court documents that the state board requests. So what's on the concrete license exam? So there's 2 parts. There's going to be 115 questions of law. There'll be another 115 questions specifically on concrete. You'll have 3 hours to complete each portion. It's a multiple choice test. It's going to be done on site on a computer. And you can bring a translator if you need. So on the C-8 portion of the exam, 30% of the test is going to be planning and estimation. 28% is going to be pre-placement preparation. 19% is going to be placing and finishing. And 5% is going to be post-placement tasks. 18% of the test is going to be on safety. So if you're looking for a little bit more in-depth on what exactly is going to be on the test, I suggest you check out our website. We've got a whole blog post that covers the C-8 license from top to bottom. But this is kind of a snapshot of what's going to be on the concrete license test. So how much does it cost? You're looking at a state application fee, which will have to be in check or money order form when you fill out your application and send it to the board. There's going to be a license activation fee that you pay every 2 years. You've got to pay for fingerprinting, and you've got to have what's called a contractor bond. So this video, we're not really going to cover the contractor bond. We've got a separate video that covers that, but it is required for you to get your license number. So it's not something that you would get directly through the CSLB. There's a lot of factors that go into how much you're going to pay for your contractor bond, but it is something that they do require. So after you pass the test, you'll get your results immediately. It's a computerized test, so you'll know whether you pass or fail right there on the spot. They do have retakes, and you usually can take it within 3 weeks. You will pay your license activation, and you will provide your contractor bond number, and then usually you'll get your contractor license card with your number in the mail within maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So getting the concrete license, it's a very smooth process. If you have all the correct information, you prepare everything beforehand, and then of course you pass the exam. That's huge. You've got to pass the first time, to get the license ASAP, obviously, but making sure that the application is filled out correctly, that you've got all the correct information, that you've got everything that CSLB may ask you for. These are huge kind of things that you can do beforehand that'll make this a hugely easy process for you. So again, my name is Zach from digitalconstructive.com. Just want to thank you for watching. We've got a ton of videos on all the other licenses and certifications and other construction related stuff. So, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Give us a like. If there's a video you want to see us make, drop it in the comments. We'll make a video on pretty much anything, that we can make a video on. But again, my name is Zach from digitalconstructive.com, and thanks for watching.